with the fact you have to have really good classroom management skills to be an effective teacher. And, well, it's just, it wasn't for me. My skill set, just a variety of different things, just really told me it wasn't for me. I'm still glad I did it, though. It was a great experience in terms of being able to see what it's like from that end. Because, that's how I look at life, You go in, you're gonna experience different things during your lifetime. Some of them good, some of them bad. But if you grab some knowledge, some wisdom, some anything from those experiences, then none of it's been a waste. Even the mistakes. Alright, and we have the bomb. And the Chozo statues. Thank you, Mr. Chozo. I will be on my way. Okay, you can open the door. Feel free to open the door. What? Honestly, I don't know if this is supposed to be a security measure set up. I'm guessing this is actually a security measure set up by the Chozos. I'm assuming this isn't something that Space Pirates put in. Maybe something to keep the Space Pirates from getting their hands on the technology that Samus Aran uses. Yeah, I definitely can understand that. I mean, I've seen being able to actually watch someone legit play. You know what it honestly is, to be frank. One of the things that about regular playthroughs that I like, it feels like you're sitting on the couch watching them play. Like the old days, whenever you'd sit on the couch with your best friends, and somebody'd be playing through, and everybody just be chatting and watching. That's what regular style playthroughs are like. I think that's one of the things that I like. It gives me a chance to play through games, hopefully entertain people, and chat with fine folks. I mean, we've had our previous streams. Our previous streams, we did have a few people who I didn't already know actually come in, and it was very nice to be able to experience that. And yeah, the commentary, you don't get that with a speed playthrough. Although, if you watch some of the tool-assisted speedruns, those things are crazy. If you want to see a good one, I highly recommend looking on YouTube and finding the Spider-Man and X-Men in Arcade's Revenge Super Nintendo tool-assisted speedrun. Mostly for the second Gambit stage. Because, first of all, the music in that game is just excellent. It's a Tim Follin soundtrack, and it is really, really good. And what's really neat is that because of the nature of the stage, it's auto-scrolling and it goes fairly slow. What the person who was doing the playthrough picked up on was the fact that if you throw Gambit's cards at the walls, it makes a sound similar to a drum. So what he does is he actually throws cards and basically does a drum sound alongside the soundtrack, and it's epic. So watch that sometime. That's really, really good. I'll tell you, if you want what I found to be a really good PC controller, buy a wired 360 controller, because those things work natively with Windows operating systems, so you don't have to have any kind of special downloads, any special anything. You just plug and play, and I have been using that for exclusively, really, for all my computer games that you would use a controller for. Obviously, you would use it for like Civilization, but it works really, really, really well. Plus, for games that have Rumble support, you get Rumble, so that's like an extra bonus. As for Final Fantasy VII itself, I have a copy of it, and I have never seriously played it. I just... You know... I don't know why, honestly. Yeah, that's what I use whenever I do any kind of game emulation. I mean, I used to use my Super Nintendo controller with a USB adapter, but really ever since I started using my Xbox 360 controller, I've just made it my dedicated game playing controller for my PC. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you just assign all the buttons inside of the emulator. In fact, if you get a I forget what it's called. There's a program you can get where you can assign keyboard commands to the controller, so that you can actually use the controller to play games that use, like, say, I'm trying to think, Blood is an example. I don't know if you ever played or heard of the computer game, the first-person shooter Blood. That's an example of one where I used a program to assign keyboard commands and buttons to different buttons on the 360 controller, and now I can play Blood like a modern first-person shooter. It's really, really fun. Oh, you got rid of your PlayStation. No. Well, if you had a PlayStation 3, you could play it on that. Oh. And because I'm still a bachelor, I can afford to keep all of my old game systems, so it's not really an issue. Not really an issue for me, which I guess my singleness, my, lack of any of that makes me a prime candidate for doing live streaming. I'm unemployed right now, and most of my days are just kind of spent whiling away, because once I've, checked in with all of the employment areas that I can think of, it's pretty much just wait for a hopeful phone call. I have heard so many people talk about League of Legends. I have never played that. And I'm kind of like you, I don't play that many computer games. Although, I say that, I've been buying more games on Steam and Good Old Games lately. Because they've been having such incredible deals. Like, I've got games on there that I have... I have bought games I will probably never play. Like, I bought, I think, the entire Ultima series. I am probably never gonna play that. But it was such a good deal, I couldn't resist. That's the problem with me. I'm so used to modern, RPGs that going back to such an old and antiquated system like the early Ultima games, it's really hard if you haven't had experience playing those games because it's so foreign to you. Because I mean, I grew up playing, the first RPG I ever played was Dragon Warrior. Which probably has something to do with the reason why Dragon Warrior is still today my favorite RPG series. Just because they feel so easily accessible to me. Ah, well, if I ever decide to try it out, I will take that advice. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Kids doing well? Oh man, if your first RPG was Earthbound, that's just awesome. I still hold it as a point of pride that Earthbound might not have succeeded when it came out in the US, but doggone it, I tried to help. I was one of the few people who actually bought it. I helped. Put that on my gravestone. I helped. Well, that's good. That's useful. Yeah. Admittedly, with really kind of any online multiplayer game, I know that there's lots of people who are patient with newbies who will put up with you, but the learning curve scares me away a lot of times. It's like with Team Fortress 2. I've had Team Fortress 2 since forever. Barely ever played it because I'm not good at that kind of fast-paced first-person shooter experience. As a result, it's just kind of, I wind up flailing, and I even if nobody's yelling at me, I kind of want to just excuse myself because I'm doing so badly. I know that playing is the only way to get better, but it's still, I guess it's anxiety it's performance anxiety when it comes to being the newbie at games. Oh, that's adorable. That is just adorable. Alright, we'll pick up the super missile. For anybody who's watching, this commentary is going to sound weird to anybody who's watching it after the fact. I am talking in chat right now with a friend of mine from college, good friend. If anybody else happens to be watching and is thinking about joining in the chat, I would just say, jump in. The more the merrier. You got your Death Stars. Oh, that's funny. I think it's wonderful. Oh, kids.